Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk to you guys how, really specifically, a little bit of the Johnny Slick story of how we made 100K in our first year. A lot of businesses don't do that. And to be honest, some of my first businesses didn't do that. Some of my businesses never even made 100K. I had some success before this, and so I learned a lot of lessons to where I was able to bring to the table when we started Johnny Slicks actually by the time you're watching this video, it would be 7 years to the day. But nonetheless, I wanted to kind of break down some of the strategy and what we did with Johnny Slicks that very first year. So let me take you back when Johnny Slicks just started. He messaged me on Instagram for 6 months, relentlessly. He finally hits me up on a live, and Allie's like, hey, this guy Johnny Slicks wants to stop by. Obviously, we now know that's John Rusheye and my business partner. And he dropped some stuff off. The branding was completely different, but the juice, man, the stuff that he had slaved away and sold plasma for, just sacrificed a lot to make those first 3 products was a big deal. And so when I tried it for the first time, I tried it for a week, and I said, man, this is $1 million product. This could be $1 million business. So I was in Texas, and I told him, I said, I shot him a message, hey, when I get back, I want to talk to you about Johnny Slicks. And he goes, dude, I'll be honest with you. He goes, if we don't talk right now, I'm not going to sleep for a week. Anyways, so we got on the phone. I said, hey, listen, you don't need to answer right now, but I think you've really got something. I think this is really good. When I get back, I want to talk about a partnership and really seeing if we can scale this to the moon and turn it into something. Because I think the product itself, and this was back then, I think we had a beard oil, 3 oil-based pomades, and an oil base. That's all we had. We didn't have beast wash, we didn't have the soaps, we didn't have shampoo, conditioner, we didn't have shave soap, we didn't have all the things that everybody loves now. It was just water-based, Formula 49. We didn't have any of that. We had 3 products, and guys, we made a 6-figure business out of that. So the reality is you can do it. You have an idea, you got a crazy idea, you got a great product, it can happen. And that's what we did. So we came to the table and I said, hey, you throw in $200, I'll throw in $200 in this crazy idea called Johnny Slicks, and this idea that we can make we can bring American manufacturing back. And this was 7 years ago, before it was even really being talked about. And let's make this all organic, American-made grooming brand. No investors, no fancy marketing team, just a vision and a grassroots initiative. And so we got together, we slapped a table, did the handshake, filed the paperwork, brought our $400 together. And then Miss Capper, my wife, built a website. I said, cook as much as you can. And then we launched it. And the very first day, I think his record monthly sales was like $368, which he was upside down on those sales of that month. But that was the gross income, was like $360 something. And then we launched, and we made that in our very first hour, launching Johnny Slicks, the original Johnny Slicks website, which wasn't much. Remember, it was just 4 total products. So the first few months was kind of brutal. We were getting our feet underneath us, like we didn't have any money. So we bought $400 to the table. We made as much product as he could make. And then we launched the website. We made that money, and then we started reinvesting, and none of us were taking money at the time. And then within, I want to say 3 weeks to a month, he quit his job and then came on full time. And that's when we really started to kind of drive forward. I said, how much money do you need to live? I said, this much money. It's like, well, if we can do that, you can make it. I'll market it. We'll sell it. We'll make that money. We'll put the rest in the business, and then we'll go from there. But at the end of we reinvested almost every single dollar back into the company. All right. And by the end of the year, we had made over $100,000 gross revenue, all from that initial investment of $400. And something I want you guys to understand about that. If I told you, hey, listen, you give me $400, and in 7 years, you'll have it will be an 8-figure business, and you'll have a hell of a return. You wouldn't believe me, but the reality is, guys, you cannot, I'm going on a tangent here, you cannot save yourself to wealth. You have to invest. And a lot of times, one of those investment models is a small business, ones that have something. So nonetheless, end of the year, first year, we made over $100,000 in revenue, all from that $400. And it wasn't luck, it was strategy. So I want to break this thing down. And most people get overwhelmed on the idea of making 100K. It really wasn't, for me, it was just an incremental process. All you need to do, the math is simple. If you're looking linearly, right? We're talking about $274 per day. We're talking about 1,923 per week, and then it goes up to 333. Now it wasn't flat like that, right? Like we were trying to make $40 a day, and then it went to 40 to 60, and then 160, and then we created a percentage of growth, right? So for us to have 100K by the end of the year, we know that the percentage of growth needed to be whatever X percentage it was. We just reverse engineered the math compared to what we were doing. And then how we were marketing, and we went all in on, we had 400, I think we had maybe 400 people on Instagram, and then it grew to 5,000 by the end of the year. So for those of you that get hung up on how many followers you have, we had a 6-figure business with under 5,000 followers on social media. Facebook wasn't even close to that. We had a handful of emails that we started with. Nonetheless, what are some paths for you to make your first 100K? Well, the easiest thing is like really high ticket stuff, like coaching or whatnot. If you have a skill, whatever your skill is, then you can leverage that skill. The problem with a lot of this is the problem really comes down to like your belief, and everybody struggles with this. You struggle with it. I struggle with it. Brandon struggles with it. Everybody struggles with it. That you're like, well, I'm just this. Who am I to be sitting here talking to you about something? That imposter mentality, right? The reality is, if you're old enough, you've experienced enough life, you have a skill that solves a problem, and someone has that problem, they're willing to pay you to solve that problem with your experience. And if you don't have that, that's where self-mastery comes in, and something that you're interested in, something that you want your zone of genius, your unique ability is. You need to go build the mastery on that subject so that you could then market it and solve problems and sell it and help people. So there's one thing. So $500 to $2,000 per client means you need 5 clients per month, and then you hit 100K a year. It's really not that complicated. It could be business consulting, it could be fitness, it could be marketing service, copywriting services, and then you leverage, again, build a personal brand. I can't tell you that enough. You need to build a personal brand, because that, in today's age, is your resume. Your resume is what you put out there on the internet. Make your stuff public on social media, and then put it out there, and then build that personal brand over a period of time. You can then leverage that audience. So like for me right now, if I left everything, I have a personal brand. I have followers that if I started a new business, I now immediately have a potential customer base to then market to. Leverage those things. They're free. Build the content around what you're trying to sell, and then sell it. For me, what I'm selling right now is I'm selling you to have a better life. I learned in 2018 that my mission in life was to inspire, educate, and motivate others to live a healthier and successful life. I want people successful. So I ask nothing in return. I just want to sharing my stories and what we've done in the hopes that people take action. And the problem is there's so many limiting beliefs out there that you just go, well, I'm just this. And I'm like, every time I hear that, or I was just this, or I did just this, I'm like, if I ever hear you saying that, I'm going to slap you. You know who doesn't have imposter syndrome? Scam artists. They believe their own press. But the people that I know are the real ones, the real deals, they all have imposter syndrome. So just take action and start doing your thing and start talking about it. So nonetheless, another way is like Johnny Slicks. This is exactly how Johnny Slicks blew up. We're selling a physical product. E-commerce. We decided that we were going to go sell online to consumer. We're going online, direct to consumer, direct to you. We built a website marketed towards you, that we talked towards you with a problem set, right? We knew that organic was the way to go. We knew that chemicals were hurting people. We saw the studies, we saw the class action lawsuits. Johnny had a personal story with this, and that's the reason why how he started creating the products in the first place. So we knew that a lot of people had that same pain point, and we hit on that pain point. And today we still hit on that pain point. Even now, we talk about more of how it's American made and how American manufacturing, and how we've been able to provide jobs to the community. We have whole families. We have husband, wives, and kids that work here at Johnny Slicks, and we're trying to grow more. And if we did what everybody told us to do, was to outsource everything, then nobody would have these jobs, and Brandon would be working at the dealership taking bullshit ass pictures of cars 8 hours a day instead of working for this company. And what kind of life is that? The reality is American manufacturing is the backbone of this America. It's what has stimulated economy. It's what helped grow. And then over the period of years, we sold our soul for $1 to push things overseas. So nonetheless, Another way to do this is a physical good like Johnny Six. Apparel, God, look at brands like Origin, USA, Few Will Hunt, all American-made brands that are just absolutely booming. And they're all started from freaking nothing, guys. Nothing. Find a great product, build a strong brand, and then market it to the right audience. And that's something I had to learn early on. I thought Johnny Slicks was for everybody. I was like, if you bathe, use soap, then it's for you, right? And that's not true. If you market to everyone, you market to no one. Find your audience, find your niche, find the people that speak your language, speak the story, and go from this. Like for us, we didn't just sell pomade. We built a brand around American-made or men's organic grooming. That was it. People that they wanted they wanted those core values. That was important. It's not important to everyone. Those that are important to, they go buy Johnny Slicks, right? So people just don't buy products. They buy from things that have identity and have the core values that they trust. And that's what we did there. Another thing that I've done that I've made over six figures is creating digital courses or products. So again, I was just having this conversation with my dear friend Cody Alford. Look him up if you don't know who he is. Another Raider, great guy. And we were having that conversation. One of the things that I've done with my courses or my coaching over the years is to make this more infinitely scalable. Is I've taken the ideas that I do in this conference room right here in this podcast studio, and I'll sit with somebody where this camera's sitting right now, and I run through this process. And I was like, over enough years, I'm like, I run through this same thing over and over and over. So what I can do now is I can just build a educational course and put that in there to where I have the ability to send that to people and sell. And so if you created an online course, hypothetically, it's $300. You need 333 sales, and then you hit 100K. Boom, done. Build an audience through your content that has value-driven education, and then sell it, market it, tell the people, this will solve this problem. This was what I did with the Agoge. The Agoge was built around teaching discipline and leadership, personal development, something people need, especially in this day and age when you see everything that kind of go down, especially during COVID. And then when we provide massive value, people will pay for that knowledge. And we've changed, it's awesome because we've changed so many lives through doing that. The last one, and I'm not a fan, but man, there are some moms, and I always bring it up because there are some moms out there absolutely crushing it, making easily over 100K on the side. So they're, maybe their husband's working, you're taking care of the kids, and they're doing affiliate marketing off Amazon and different programs through Amazon affiliate stuff, and they are absolutely crushing it. And they make those, I fall into them. I don't know if you fall into them, but all the homestead moms sharing their Amazon products and their lifestyle with their kids of, homeschooling their kids and taking care of the chickens and the dogs and the house and everything. And these are the products that they're using. This is how they're canning stuff, and it's all Amazon stuff. You can get on there. I'm impressed that staying at home, taking care of kids, making some, reels on Instagram will bring in over 100,000 on the side. And the reality is this, there's no better age in 2025 than right now. Right? There's no better age in 2025 to make money because there are so many ways. So everything that I just told you, we hit 100K our first year in Johnny Slicks, but then we used the same system, okay? We used that money to build a team, start automating our processes. As things started to develop, we increased prices just a little bit, and then we started creating new products to upsell those other products. Finally, we had a story that hit. It was the Johnny Slick story. Some of you guys might have seen it. When that hit, I said, okay, now we're using paid ads. And once that started, we went from 100,000 to 600,000 the next year. So year one was 100K, year two was 600K, year three was 1.9, and then now we're in the 8 figures and we're scaling past that. So the reality, guys, is you can do this. You just have to start executing. And guys, you're like, hey, what if you failed? Listen, I filed freaking bankruptcy, guys. 2016, I had no choice. I filed bankruptcy. Chapter 11, and it was in the midst of business starting to turn. It was the worst time. You might fail your first time. You might fail your second time. You might flop. The reality is, if you quit, you'll never know what you're capable of. You just have to learn from these mistakes. I've had businesses that I've had to close. I've had businesses that just flopped. I've had ideas that flopped. You just keep moving forward. The more that you can continue to create, the more that you can continue to grow here, the more that you are going going to earn over a period of time. All right. And you just have to execute. So again, choose one of those business models, commit to the process, break down the math, create the goal, reverse engineer to day from day 352 to all the way to day 1, and then start executing. If you have any questions about scaling, about business, about any of the things that I talked about, drop me a question in the comments. Remember to hit that like, subscribe, and put the notifications on. And guys, we'll see you in the next video. Love you. Peace. Hey guys, if you like this video and you want to hear the story of how we scaled to $1 million and all the way to 8 figures, click this video somewhere right around here and it will take you there, and appreciate you. Go learn more. Go execute, guys. Peace.